Dear students, I am Sunil Ranjan and I am an English teacher. In this session, I am going to explain problem plays, and this topic is meant for students of English honors in many universities. The term problem play was coined by Sidney Grundy, who used it in a disparaging sense for the intellectual drama of the 90s. Shaw defined it as the presentation parable of the conflict between man's will and his movement. The problem play deals with problems. Eric Bentley finds the justification of the word problem on the ground that the play ends with a question mark. He says that the dramatist's business is to state his problem clearly and effectively, and not to present a ready-made solution or to suggest a specific remedy. It originated in 19th century France, but was effectively practiced and popularized by the Norwegian playwright Ibsen. It was introduced into England by Henry Arthur Jones and A.W. Pinero towards the end of the 19th century. Joy Bernard Shaw and Galsworthy took the problem play to its height in the 20th century. H. Granville Lee Barker was the last notable practitioner of this dramatic type. Thus, the problem play flourished in England in the period between the last years of the 19th century and the middle of the 20th. Now, the first point about problem play is that it is debate oriented. Problem play is a term commonly used to describe a play which examines a specific social or political problem with the aim of igniting public debate. The genre apparently originated in France in the late 19th century. Notable examples are Ibsen's A Doll's House, questioning the subordination of women in marriage; Bernard Shaw's Mrs. Warren's Profession, examining attitudes towards prostitution; and Galsworthy's Justice, exposing the cruelties of solitary confinement and the legal system. Some plays by later writers such as A. Wesker, J. McGrath, Carol Churchill, H. Brenton, and D. Hare also raise contemporary issues, often using a wider canvas than their predecessors. The next point is realistic technique. Towards the end of the Victorian age, the drama of social problems came into prominence in England. The problem play was the presentation of a contemporary question through realistic technique. The dramatist writing plays of social criticism made a conscious effort to deal with problems of contemporary society and morality. The drama, which was directly inspired by the social ferment of the time, could be effective only if it adopted a realistic form or medium, because problem drama required a high level of craftsmanship and dramatic skill. The next point is Boas and Ibsen. They were two persons, the writers. The term was used by critic F.S. Boas in Shakespeare and his predecessors in 1896, derived from a type of drama that was popular at the time of Boas' writing. It was most associated with the Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen. In these problem plays, the situation faced by the protagonist is put forward by the author as a representative instance of a contemporary social problem. In Shakespeare's studies, the problem plays are three plays that William Shakespeare wrote between the late 1590s and the first years of the 17th century. All All's well that ends well, measure for measure, and Troilus and Cressida. Shakespeare's problem plays are characterized by their complex and ambiguous tone, which shifts violently between dark psychological drama and more straightforward comic material. These plays are difficult to classify because their somber themes and cynical tones contrast oddly with their comedic elements, and the moral issues raised are not satisfactorily resolved. The next point is a new experiment. So, this is the final point. A new experiment. Problem play was a new experiment in form and technique and dispensed with the conventional devices and expedients of the Victorian era, was closely related to the growth of the realistic movement in the field of English drama. Realism in English drama is as old as the mysteries and moralities, which sometimes introduced realistic situations and characters from humble rustic life. Decker's The Honest Whore and The Shoemaker's Holiday are realistic drama. It was largely felt that the essence of drama was the faithful presentation of life. So, this was a session on problem plays, and I hope you understood the lesson. And if you have subscribed to my channel, fine. If you haven't, do subscribe so that we meet again and again in the time to come. Thank you.